There are multiple ways to create an assignment in Google Classroom. The first way would be to give your students instructions and have them upload that assignment to Classroom when finished. They may be creating this document in Microsoft Word or Microsoft PowerPoint, and then they would upload that file to the assignment in Classroom. The second way would be for you to create a worksheet yourself on the Google Drive and then assign that document to each of their students. Then all your students have to do is click on that worksheet, open it up, and complete the assignment. The third way would be to give your students instructions and have them then create a blank document themselves from their Google Drive and complete the assignment. If they click Create and then Document, a document in Google Drive that is blank will be created for them with the assignment name and their name at the end of the file name. If you don't have a template to start with and your students are starting from scratch, this would be the best way to create your assignment. To start all assignments in Classroom, you need to go to the stream if you aren't already there and locate Assignment underneath Share with your class. Click Assignment. You must give your assignment a name. Where it says Title of Assignment. The description is optional. You might want to write the objective of the assignment here, or possibly instructions for your students. Next, you'll choose a due date. You can change this later if you realize the assignment is taking longer than expected. Optionally, you can include a time that the assignment is due. By default, the due date will be set for the next day at 11:59 p.m. I'm going to change this due date to next Friday, January 9th, and I'll leave the time 11:59 as it is already set. Next, you'll want to attach your resources. The same links that you have seen previously are available for your assignments. You can add as many as you would like for each assignment. For example, you may want to attach a worksheet that you send to all of your students, a link to a website that can help, and maybe a video explanation of the assignment. Attach the files you would like in the next step. Later in this video, I will show you how to create worksheets in the Google Drive for your students. For this particular assignment, I'm going to attach a worksheet that I have previously created on my Google Drive, and then I'll add a link to my textbook website that will help students answer the questions. To attach a file from my Google Drive, I click the Google Drive icon. A dialog box will come up with all of my Google Drive files. I'll choose the correct folder and location for the worksheet, and once I find the worksheet that I want to assign my students, I will click it once and then choose Add. Optionally, you can double-click the worksheet and it will add that in. You'll see now that it says the name of my worksheet below the file. Before I go on to add the link, I want to change the settings for this file. You will only see these settings from a Google Drive file, a document, presentation, spreadsheet, drawing, etc. The first option in the list says Students can view file. This means that students are able to look at the worksheet, but they are unable to write on it. I use this option for instructions and resource materials that I don't want my students to edit. The next option is Students can edit file. This means that the file will be shared with editing access to all students in your class. That means every student in your class can edit the same document. I use this option for class wikis that I want each student to contribute to and edit. If you don't want all students to be able to edit one single document, then don't choose Students can edit file. The final option, which I use most often, is Make a copy for each student. This will take your document and create a separate one for each of your students that student can edit. It will be shared with you and that student, with you having viewing access and the student having editing access. That means you can see the file and make suggestions, but you can't edit the student's work. The student can edit the file, meaning they can put in all of their answers on that document. When the student turns the assignment in to you, those permissions will change. You will then have editing access, and your student will have viewing access. So as soon as that student clicks Turn In, they can't go in and edit their worksheet. They can unsubmit the file, but they can't start changing answers while you're grading. And then finally, after you have graded the assignment and you return it to your student, the permissions will change yet again. You will again have viewing access, and your student will then have editing access of that document. For this worksheet, I want each of my students to have a copy of it, and each student to complete their own. So I'm going to choose Make a Copy for each student. After I've done that, I want to provide a link to my textbook website for students to get a little bit of help on their assignment if they're working at home. I'm going to choose the Attach Link button, and remember, for links, a dialog box will not pop up. You simply paste the link to the website and then click Add. After you have made your selections for your attachments, you will choose which sections or classes will receive this assignment. If you only want this particular class to receive the assignment, you can skip the next step. If you have multiple classes set up in Classroom, you will see the name of your current class at the bottom of the assignment menu with a drop-down arrow next to it. Click that drop-down arrow to see a list of all of your classes and put a check mark next to the ones that you would like to receive the assignment. So I may want Quarter 2, Period 7 and Quarter 2, Period 3 to receive the same assignment. And then just click back on your assignment box. Double check that all things are correct and click the blue Assign button. This will take a couple minutes as Classroom is creating a file for each of your students with his or her name at the end of the file name. So just be patient as it assigns that file to each of your students. As students complete the assignment, you will see how many have turned the assignment in and how many are still working. So on a real class with real assignments, you can see that for this assignment, all 25 of my students had turned it in, and none of them still need to work. For this assignment, 24 of my students are finished, and one of them is not. I can click on this and see which student hasn't turned the assignment in yet. Finally, I'll show you how to create a worksheet on your Google Drive. The first thing you'll need to do is go to your Google Drive by clicking the Drive Apps icon or by going to drive.google.com. Once you're in your Drive, you'll click New and then choose what type of file you would like to create. If it's a basic worksheet, you'll probably choose Google Docs. However, you might want to use Google Sheets, Google Slides, Google Forms, Drawings, etc. I'm going to choose Google Docs. This will set up a new document for you, and you can create a worksheet just as you always would. Here's an example of the worksheet that I just assigned to the class. This is a hardware-software worksheet, and what I typically do is insert a table by clicking Table, Insert Table, and choosing what I would like it to be for my assignments. This lets students have a perfect spot to type in their answer and helps me keep their assignments organized. Another way is you might want to put an outline menu in for your students. I always make sure for a worksheet like this that students have a clear picture of where they should type their answer. There's even a matching section at the bottom that is also done with a table. You can set up your worksheets however you would like, but I find this to be the easiest way, using a Google document from my Google Drive and then attaching that to my assignment in Classroom. You will learn how students turn in their assignments in the student section of this course.